Junior School, Primary 7. I want to tell our dear parents of children in Primary 7 that we are going to have lessons on YouTube channel. The account name of YouTube is Bright Parents Junior School Mbale. So subscribe. You can get the best use of the WhatsApp numbers which are on the screen in case you need anything. In case your children want to ask a question in any subject, they can call or WhatsApp us on those numbers that are moving down the screen. Click on the bell notification such that you can get the updates of the channel every day from Monday to Friday.
Good morning, candidates of Bright Parents Junior School. My name is Mr. Ramadan Bogere, your teacher of English language. First of all, I want to thank you for staying home like you were advised, because as we all know, we have heard about coronavirus. It is a killer disease, and we have to observe the measures put in place so that we can be safe. Washing hands with clean water and soap or using sanitizers, keeping social distance, and all others. Now, I want us to continue from where we ended. I'm going to handle English as usual. Last time when we met, we had a lesson about letter writing, and we all learned what a letter is. We learned the types of letters. We said we have what we call formal letters and informal letters, and we gave other names to mean those. We said another word to mean informal letter is friendly letter. We also said it can also be known as a personal letter. Now, in our lesson, our first lesson, we are going to look at, in lesson 1, we are going to look at the parts of a friendly letter. Don't forget, we said a friendly letter is also known as an informal letter or a personal letter. Now, last time we saw the reasons why we write friendly letters. Someone can write a letter to send greetings. You can write a letter to give thanks to somebody. You can write a letter to your pen pal informing him or her about anything. And you can also write a letter to invite somebody to a function or an occasion. Now, we need to know the parts of a friendly letter. I want us to note that there are 6 major parts of a friendly letter. A friendly letter has got 6 major parts, and these include one, we have what we call the address. Remember to write neatly. The first part of a friendly letter is the address. During our vocabulary practice, we understood the meaning of the word address, and here it comes as the first part of a friendly letter. The second part of a friendly letter is the date. That has to be the second part, and the date is followed by the salutation, which can also be called a greeting. Yeah, when you are writing a letter, actually, we said a letter is a message. So in this message, it is important to begin with a greeting, which is known as the salutation. And after the greeting, we shall have the body. We are going to see that the body has got other parts, but for now, we are listing the major parts of the friendly letter. These are 1, 2, 3, 4. So next to the body, we have what we call the concluding phrase. We can call it a concluding phrase, we can call it complementary clause, and any other word that is related to that. So after the concluding phrase, the last part of a friendly letter is the signature. However, in a friendly letter, our signature shall not be written in a characteristic way. We are going to use what we call the first name. Last time, I remember telling you that the first name must be your religious name. Like I am Luleti Ramadan. In a friendly letter, do not use the name Luleti, but we shall use the name Ramadan. That is the religious name. So these are the 6 major parts of a friendly letter. Now, we need to have an example of a written letter, and then we observe these parts. So let us see in an example of a letter that is written. Last time, I also want to remind you that we learned the formats of writing a letter. We said there are 2 major formats. One of them is the indented style, which actually now is not commonly used. Currently, we are advised to use what we call the block style of writing a letter. I said we have the indented style or format, and then we have the block style. The block style. So the block style is the modern style of writing a letter that we are all advised or recommended to use. So let us look at a written letter, and then we observe the parts of a friendly letter. I am beginning with the address. I remember advising you that qualities of a good letter, among them we have proper punctuation, and this begins with the address. This is a name of an institution, and therefore each letter of a word has to be capital. And I have ended with a comma, don't forget. So after that we shall have the box number, then you put another comma there, and the name of the place where the school is located. This full stop shows that the address ends here. So according to the block style which I am using, after the address we have to leave a lane. Please don't forget, there is a difference between a line and a lane. So if I say we leave a line, I know your books have lines. That means we shall leave a line and go to the next space. But I am meaning the space between 2 lines. So I assume I have left a lane, then I go to the next part, and that is the date. So our date here can be remember to use a neat handwriting when you are writing a letter. So this is our date, 15th May 2020. If you don't punctuate the date very well, you lose a mark for this part of a letter. I hope you remember why we say that the date should be included in a letter. If you leave out the date, the person going to receive the letter may not know when the letter was written. and it is possible that he or she may also send you a letter without the date. So that message may not be clear. So our next part is the salutation, and I said this can be a greeting. You can start your greeting with "Dear Aaron." After the greeting, there has to be a comma. As we are writing, we are also observing the qualities. Now, do not leave a lane between the the salutation and the body. So here we shall start in the next line to write our body. Now, the body has got 3 parts. We have the introduction, we have the message or explanation, and we end with the conclusion. So in our introduction, we can say, how are you in Kampala? This is a question, and therefore it has to end with a question mark. You can add and say, this way in Mbale, we are fine and how are you in Kampala? This way in Mbale, we are fine and we are trying, we are observing the COVID-19 preventive measures. Remember, your introduction is not supposed to be very long. The main message has to come next to the introduction. So it is important for you to go to the next paragraph when you are writing the introduction. The message. So this is our introduction. Next is why we have written the letter. So we can start and say, this is the introduction of our message. I have written this letter to inform you that the government of Uganda has put in place measures to prevent the spread of coronavirus. Now, you can continue with your message in the same paragraph, or if the lines are more than 6 or 7, you can go to the next paragraph. So here, therefore, I can continue and say, Why have I put the colon? Because I'm going to introduce a list of things, a list of ideas, a list of points. This is punctuation. So when you're going to introduce more than one thing in a list, please remember to put the colon. We can come and continue from here. Washing hands with introduction, the message or explanation, and the conclusion. So, the message is, I have written this letter to inform you that the government of Uganda has put in place measures to prevent the spread of coronavirus. I therefore advise you to follow these measures so that we can be safe. They include washing hands with clean water and soap, coughing in the elbow, observing social distance, and many others. There are so many, but we have picked a few of them. I shall be grateful if you follow the advice. God bless you. So after the body, our next part shall be the concluding phrase or complementary clause. So we can now say, your beloved friend so Jonathan wrote a letter to Aaron. Now remember, the ending or the concluding phrase has to be in a friendly way, not official way. If it was official, we would see words like yours faithfully, yours sincerely, and so on. But this one is a friend to Jonathan, and the letter we are writing is a friendly letter. So let us now again check the parts of a friendly letter. Remember, I said there are 6. We have the address, the date, the salutation, the body, concluding remarks or concluding phrase, and the signature. And I also said the signature does not have does not have to be the other one in a characteristic way, but your first name, which is the religious name. So, Bright Parents Junior School, P.O. Box 22, Mbale. This is the first part of the letter, which we have called the address. Where you see a full stop is where the address ends. So after the address, we left a lane, and that's why you see that the space here is quite bigger than the space above. So after the lane, we wrote the date, 15th May 2020. Dear Aaron, so this is the date. After the date, our next part is the salutation. Dear Aaron. Sometimes you are allowed to say hello Aaron, hi Aaron, as far as a friendly letter is concerned. Then after that, the salutation. This is the salutation. We now come and write the body. Let me remind you, when you're writing the body, do not leave a lane between the introduction and the salutation. So, how are you in Kampala? This is a question, that's why we have put a question mark. This way in Mbale, we are fine and we are observing the COVID-19 preventive measures. I want you to note that the introduction has to have an idea of what the message is going to bear. And that's why you realize that here there's something to do with COVID-19 and the message is about coronavirus. Now, when you write, how are you in Kampala? Don't again say, let me hope you're fine. The person going to reply the letter is the one now to answer. Because now if you ask and answer, what will he say? How are you? I hope you're fine. Have you eaten anything? I hope you've eaten. You can see that. So the person going to reply the letter is the one to answer this. So this is our introduction. This is our message. And the message comes up to here. Now this is the conclusion, but all the 3 paragraphs are for one part of the letter, and that is the body. So after the body, we now come and write the concluding phrase. Your beloved friend. You can say your friend. You can say your loving friend, so long as the language used is friendly. And after that, do not leave a lane. You now write the first name, which shall work as a signature in the friendly letter. Thank you so much for following this. Now, I want to give you an activity. You have seen the parts of a friendly letter, and we have seen a letter, and we have observed those parts. There are so many other letters that have been written. I want you in your groups, or in pairs, you identify any friendly letter that is written, and then you highlight or you single out these parts. In our next lesson, we shall go through that. So this marks the end of lesson 1. Once again, I am Lulete Ramadan Bogere, a teacher of English, Bright Parents Junior School. Thank you for listening. May God bless you. However, remember to observe the COVID-19 preventive measures. Let us stay safe. Thank you.